So we're going to discuss the 6622 verification utility. This is a utility that utilizes the internal standards in the rack and a set of supplementary standards connected over here to verify the ratio accuracy of the 6622A DCC bridge. It's a fairly lengthy process, but it's completely automated, and so it's the kind of thing you would generally run at the end of the day and just let it go overnight, and it takes pretty much a whole 24-hour period to operate. To access this utility, you'd reach here and get to the plug-in menu and 6622 AF verification. And the window pops up here and essentially is already preloaded with all the information required to make the measurement. The only thing you have to do is submit the serial numbers for your scanners, which for this system is 813 and 1023. And then when you have this connected here and all set up, just make sure that over here you have your traveling standard connected, which are 4 supplementary resistors, a 1 ohm on channel 13, a 10 k ohm on channel 14. On channel 15, you have the 1 meg ohm, and on channel 16, you will have a 100 meg ohm resistor. And when that is all connected, you are ready to launch the test. A good practice is to use this preview function here. The preview function runs the test in a shortened mode at a fast reversal rate, and all this does is just checks to make sure that all the connections are good and that the bridge can make a decent balance on all the measurements. Because this process will take 20 some odd hours, so if you had made a mistake in the wiring and found that there was a problem later, then you're going to have to rerun it, and that wastes a lot of time. So the preview mode takes about half an hour to an hour to operate and just gives you a quick check to make sure everything's going to be good and run smoothly. So maybe about an hour or two before the end of the day, you would run this, have it all set up, run it, and get the preview, just make sure everything's okay. Then just take off the preview here and click on the start button, and essentially the test operates from there. So when the test is complete, you can review the results by clicking on the report button. The report button will then prompt you to look at either the current test data from the measurement just run, or you can look at a previous test from maybe last year or whatever it is that you've run. Right, so we'll just select current, and what you notice here is that in this area, all the data will come in for all the ratios that were measured, and the calculations will come through for things like interchange and ladder closure errors. Interchange is where you take 2 resistors, you measure them in one direction, and then you reverse it and expect a reciprocal. And you can determine any measurement errors there for 1-to-1 ratios. And for the 10-to-1 and 100-to-1 ratios in a bridge, we use a technique called laddering, where it is you take a 10-to-1 ratio and a secondary 10-to-1 ratio, and those two would ladder from, say, 1 ohm to 10 ohm, 10 ohm up to 100 ohm, and then the 1 ohm would be measured directly against the 100 ohm, and that ratios, they should match. So essentially the 2 10s, if you multiply them together, they'll be the same number as the 101 measured directly. And there'll be some error and some differences there, and that's checked against our published specification for the bridge. And that's how we actually determine the bridge is still operating in full specifications. And once you're complete with that, you would store this file and keep it on site and use that to maintain your bridge and your records for keeping the maintenance of your bridge for audits and that sort of thing. It's recommended you run this verification process basically once a year, or if there's any type of problem or question that you have in your bridge, you just want to make sure things are okay. And that's pretty much it.